Welcome to the Hoopo Show. This is episode 4. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome back to the Hoopo Show, and I'm your host, Hoopo. But you can just call me Ben. Well, where do we start, man? It's been a week. So far. You know what I'm figuring out? I'm figuring out that life writes the script, man. If you just sit back and look at what life is placing in front of you, you don't really have to think about, what to talk about, man, because real life is happening every moment, and it's not the things you think that you should be talking about or what's going to be popular or what's going to get this many views. And no, man, it's I want to talk about the things that are happening, that stress me out, that make me happy. And like I've told you before, this show is, I'm going to try to be as raw and as honest as possible every single conversation that I have, every single episode, and just hope that you can relate and hope that maybe it can help you in some shape, form, or fashion. Man, just like I just said, the life will just write the script for you. So last time I told you a story, and we'll start off with some funny story, or something happy, put a smile on your face, and then we'll get into something else after that. But like I said in the last episode or 2 episodes ago, I was in Gerrard Square walking around, and I had a memory pop into my head. Well, same thing just happened. I went to, for those not from Toronto, went deep Scarborough, man. The wife and I were looking. It was Saturday. We got to take these kids out of the house, man. They're just wild. Stella was just this, like I've said, he's a rhinoceros, but he's turning into something even more than that. I don't know, man. It's just let me think. How a pterodactyl screams? Take the pterodactyl scream and put that inside of a bear, a grizzly bear. He is a grizzly bear. He takes 20-year-old deuces. He takes poos that are the size of a 20-year-old. He's only 2.5, man. He's turning. It's crazy. So he's running around. My 8-year-old daughter's running around. They're playing a game called Scream. It's a fun one. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's really fun. It's where you have 2 kids where they about 6 years apart, and they just scream at each other. It's fun. It's hilarious. It's really fun to watch. We'll get into me going to see the neurology doctor tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. to talk about my headaches. We'll talk about that after. Man, all these segues. I told you, life just writes the script, man. So, we decided to go to Parkway Mall, which is deep Scarborough. Holy, that's my Scarborough accent. Holy, brethren. Holy, I'm cheesed, brethren. So we go to Parkway Mall because they have go-karts. Like I said before, you can't make this shit up, right? So we get to the mall and we walk in, and all it is just tech fix shops. Just these mom and pop tech fix shops. So you could bring your iPod Shuffle. Remember those? They'll fix it up. Parkway Mall, man. Next door, exactly the same store. Next door, fake jewelry, the fake type of costume jewelry. That's what it's called. So it's just boom, 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 and then you get the Gerrard Square toques that have high as fuck written on it or something like that, or you know what I mean, that type of shit, and ski mask, just in case you gotta get a quick thing done. So we're walking through, right, and I didn't bring my iPod Shuffle to get fixed, so we're walking through with the kids, and I see the go-kart. Okay, there it is. So that must be Funland, you know what I mean? So we're walking through to get to Funland. Kids are excited. They're already sweating, they're ready to go, right? And I look over to my left, and I look down. I swear to God, what do I see? I see this dude, and what was he wearing? He's wearing a Steve Nash, one of those orange and blue jerseys, way too big for him. But he's got a goddamn, it looked like a fucking anaconda around his neck, but it was a snake, right? I was like, this dude's walking through the mall, and this shit's normal, and he's walking around with a snake trying to kill him around his neck, and he's a Steve Nash fan? This is crazy, and it's cold outside. You don't have a jacket in your, it just, none of it added up, right? So I'm like, am I the only one seeing this shit? That's not normal. You know what I mean? But I'm like, all right, Parkway Mall, man, let's go to the go-karts. So that reminded me of a story that, of course, I'm living on the island. I've told you all that I grew up on an island just outside of Sault Ste. Marie, 45 minutes out of Sault Ste. Marie. Desolate, beautiful spot, absolutely beautiful. We go back once every summer at least. And so I grew up there. I did my childhood, the good years there, right? And one of the things to do on the island was to go to a friend's house and just experience someone else's house, right? That was a big deal. Even if you weren't friends with them, you was like, I'm going for a sleepover at so and so's house. You know what I mean? Like, even if you weren't friends with them, it was just something to do. It was something different. It was something different from, the island. And only an islander can understand what I'm saying right now. And so I went to this one. I'm not going to use his name. I'm not going to tell his name. So I'm not going to put him on blast like that on the podcast. But this shit really happened. So I had one of those opportunities to go to a friend's house. You know what? At the time, he was my friend. So I don't want to say he wasn't my friend. But so I went to his house. We must have been couldn't have been more than 12, 13 years old. Maybe 14. I don't know. Somewhere between, I can't remember. Between 11 and 14. Somewhere in there, right? So I go to his house, and first thing he's got on there, the moment, and again, I have to paint the picture because this is a show, this is a podcast, so I mean no disrespect if this person ever watches this and knows I'm talking about them. The moment you walked in, all I could smell was a deep fryer smell. It's like you walked into a Montana's, or into into the fryer at Popeyes. You know what I mean? It was just right away, because the second you walked in, there was a kitchen and there was all these frying pans, and they all had this that white fat just on all of them. It was just sitting there waiting to say hi to you as you walked in. So boom, that hits you and you're like, hey, oof. And so I was like, all right, hey, how you doing, man? All right. He's like, all right, come in here, man. We're watching Rock'em Sock'em. So you remember the old Don Cherry Rock'em Sock'em VHSs? And so he's in the living room, he's watching that, and it's like, man, okay, cool, yeah, what do you want to do? And just messy, man, it was like we walked into a tornado. It was like a petting zoo, you know what I mean? It was like when you go to a birthday party for kids, and then once the kids leave, and then you look at what happened, that's what we were in, right? So I was like, oh, okay, a little took back from that. Actually, molded my life moving forward. I'm like, I don't ever want my house, I don't want my kids to ever go home and get that feeling. So again, I don't mean any disrespect. So the point of my story is, so the guy at Parkway Mall, snake around his neck. So here we go. I go, what's that smell? He goes, well, I looked at him, I said, what's that smell, man? And he's like, well, are you talking about the kitchen? I said, no, it's something. I know the smell of deep fryer, but I'm like, what's that smell? And he's like, oh, man, you know you might be smelling. And he's acting all normal, man. He was just like, this was just normal, everyday shit. He's like, come with me. So we go down to his basement. Imagine the basement. So we go down to the basement, and I swear to God, he turns on the light. His dad was a trapper. Only on the island, man. He was a trapper, fully fledged trapper. That means he goes out, he finds animals, brings it home. He eats what he kills, man. You know what I mean? So we walk down to the basement, and there's just beaver balls hanging and drying all down his roof of his basement. Just nut sacks, just as far as the eye can see, man. Beaver balls just drying up, because you sell the beaver balls for I guess for perfume or cologne. So I'm like, well, you know what, that's not what I was smelling, but this is pretty crazy. This is pretty cool. You know what I mean? But no, that's not what I'm smelling. And he's like, oh, I don't know, man, I don't know what you're smelling, man, but let's go back up and watch some more Don Cherry. I'm like, yeah, it's just so this was nothing. The balls hanging in your basement, this is nothing. This is just normal. Okay, cool, but all right. So we walk back upstairs. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm actually at this point, I'm kind of ready to go home. The party's done, right? So we go back into the living room. He's like, you want some water? I'm like, nah, not really, because I don't So we go into the living room. We sit down. It's real quiet. There's nobody home. It's just the beaver balls, me, this dude, and Don Cherry, Rock'em Sock'em, right? Eric Lindros taking big hits. Marty McSorley, that era, right? So sitting there watching that, and I swear to God, this happened, all right? So I'm sitting there. I am actually thirsty, but I just don't want any water. Speaking of which, all of a sudden I hear this. I'll try to do the impersonation over the microphone. All of a sudden I hear this. How did it go? It was like this. I was like, what the fuck was that? He looks over at me again with that same look that he gave me in the basement, like these balls are normal. He just like, what? It's like, what was that sound? And he's like, I don't know. So I'm like, okay. So I continue watching Rock'em Sock'em. And then I hear a like bunch of wrestling, right? And then in my peripheral, I look this way, and I swear to God, all of a sudden, a fucking baby deer. A baby deer. D-E-E-R. A baby deer runs across the living room, straight past me. I could smell it. That was what I smelled. And it just, this baby deer just, I was like, the fuck was that? I look at my friend. I was like, what was that? He's like, oh. He goes, oh, that's Popeye. I said, Popeye? You have a baby deer named Popeye? He's like, yeah, Popeye's strong, man. Look at him. Look at his legs. That's why we called him Popeye. I said, well, okay. So I'm like, come here, Popeye. So I made the song like, I swear to God, the little baby deer comes over to me, just stands right next to me, sits down. Popeye sits there and watches Rock'em Sock'em with me. He goes, here, give him some of this. He hands me Cinnamon Toast Crunch. A box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Opened. I just started putting them in my hand and just eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch from my hand. Like a dog. But this was Popeye the deer. A baby deer, man. So, from Parkway Mall and Anacondas to St. Joseph Island and baby deers. Life just keeps rolling, man. Just keeps rolling. Keep your eyes up and head up. Eyes and ears open, man, because crazy shit's happening all the time, and it's just enjoy it. Enjoy it while it lasts, man. I gotta take a piss. Popeye the baby deer, man. Like I said, you can't make that shit up. Alright. So that's a little bit of laughter. That's a little bit of smiles for you. But you know what? Last episode I had with Young Bleed, man, we talked about this thing of manifesting, you know, the evolution of stress. And how stress we basically kind of touched on it, man, that, you know, your childhood trauma, childhood stress, you don't really know what stress is as a kid. So you just deal with it. And, whatever's happening to you as a kid, whether you're getting, lots of things can happen to you as a kid. So, that manifests itself into sometimes physical health issues once you get older. Like he mentioned that, the stuff he was dealing with, getting shot at, and then, he has high blood pressure when he's in his 20s. Well, yeah, I mean, that's easy math, right? So it got me thinking about not only can stress do that, but it kind of relates to when you're growing up, who your leaders are, who your mom and dad is, who's taking care of you, who is molding you into the man you're going to grow up to be or the woman you're going to grow up to be, right? So who you're constantly seeing every day, that can shape you. And you can end up becoming that person. You start to get those traits. You start to be like them, right? Whether the positive or the negative side of it all. And it's funny because that just completely reminded me of me growing up with my dad. And I don't really want to put my dad on too much blast on this, but I mean, this is the truth. In this story, even I didn't even tell. Like I mentioned before, I went to therapy for the first time this past summer, and I didn't even mention this story, but this is the point of this show, man, is to be as raw and as honest as I can, and I'm gonna be, and that's what I'm gonna do. Like I actually mentioned at the start, I go back to the island. I've been doing this, going up north every summer, once a summer at least, right, for a few days. This summer, I think I was 20, what was I? I was around like 22, 23, 24, somewhere around there. I graduated college. I was doing my music thing pretty hard. I had a bunch of friends that I wanted to bring up. I used to come up with my friends. It was actually with Cal, Alex. I think it may have just been the two of them. My bad if somebody else came and I'm not remembering. But so I think it was just my buddies, Cal and Alex. And we drove up there. Man, we hit the Sioux first and we just start partying. And this is when I still drank. Like I said, I haven't had a drink in 5-6 years, but we'll get into that. So, we're going hard. And at the time I smoked heavy Belma, smoked a lot of weed, drank a lot. I drank like it was the Super Bowl when I drank, right? So it was the World Series. It was Joe Carter. You know what I mean? I was going for the win every time. Anyone that's known me or been around me when I was doing that knows exactly what I'm talking about. I went hard. So we're in the zoo and we're doing this every night, right? Every single night. And I think we were 4 days in and we were still in the zoo. We had been kind of bouncing from the zoo to the island. My dad was in the zoo. So we're staying at my dad's. And this night, the boys decided they wanted to go to Michigan because Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario is right across the border from Sault, Michigan. So they wanted to go and party in Sault, Michigan. And all this partying had really caught up to me at this point. And I was starting to feel weird health-wise, right? So my heart was like beating really fast, probably from all the triples from Tim Hortons and the cigarettes and the drinking and the no sleeping, My body was telling me, man, you need to stay in tonight. And so you're going to stay, let the boys go, they'll have some fun. And, they didn't press me too hard. Like, yeah, man, all right, cool. We'll go. You stay at your dad's house, right? So they dropped me off at my dad's. I don't know where we were, but, and I walk into the house and then he's like, hey, what's going on? He's in the kitchen. And he looks like he's about 6-7 beers deep in, right? Maybe even more. He's probably been drinking all day, right? And I was like, oh, man, the boys wanted to go to Sault, Michigan tonight, and I'm just not feeling right. I'm a little bit scared. Like, my heart's beating really fast, and I'm tired, and I'm not feeling that great. So I'm just going to pack it in tonight, right? And he's like, oh, come on, have a beer with your dad. Come on, here, drink this. Fuck, this will make you feel better. Fuck, here you go. I was like, no, I'd rather not. No, fuck, come on, man. Like, have this fucking beer with me. I'm your fucking dad, man. Like, have this beer with me. So I'm like, holy shit, all right, cool. Last thing I want to do is have a beer right now. I want to go to sleep, right? So he hands me a beer. I open it, I'm drinking it, and it's not doing me right. Like, my body was telling me no, right? So I'm sipping on this beer, right? Not really drinking it. And he's probably like, now he's drank like 3 or 4 more. And they're just, the beer bottles are all over the kitchen, right? He's getting red-faced. He's getting a little sloppy, right? Making some bad jokes, And then so I'm like, all right, cool. I don't know, an hour pass, 45-minute pass in his kitchen, talking about nothing. And he looks at me and he goes, why don't you let's go. Take your fucking dad. Let your fucking dad take you out for a fucking beer, man. I was like, what? Like, fuck, come with your fucking old man. Come have a beer with me. We'll go downtown. Your fucking uncles are there. Just fucking go, man. Like, come on. I was like, nah, I don't know. I told you, if I wanted to go out, I'd be in Michigan right now, right? You know what I mean? Like, and he says, no, fuck, come on, man. Just fucking take your pops. We'll fucking go. Let's fucking go. You can come with your dad. And like, son and dad. And you know what? All right, you know what? He's right. I thought to myself, we haven't had many moments like this, right? Maybe the 30, 40 beers you just had, maybe you're going to, maybe this is a good thing. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to tough this out. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's go. Come on. How are we going to drive there? Now that I think back away, he drove too. So, so we drove to, it was this place by I think it was the Holiday Inn by the Station Mall on the water. There was a bar somewhere around the corner, somewhere around there. I don't know what it's called. But we get there, and it's quite busy. And there's people dancing. Sure enough, my uncle's there. Uncle Mark, rest in peace. And you know what? I'm not having a great time because I'm not feeling that great, right? So I'm sipping like a beer. I think I had like a beer and a half, right? And this is so fucked up. So I decide I want to go. Like, I'm just going to go, man. Like, we're not hanging out. This isn't a dad-son thing. Like, you're doing your own, you're trying to go get some tail, right? Which is, fine. You're a single middle-aged man who's been through a bit, and you want to get some ass. That's fine. But that's not, I don't want to be here for that. That grosses me out right now. So I'm going to go home. So I come and I comb my way through the dance floor areas with some cougars, just nails out, just fucking wow, all I could smell was Liz Claiborne and Station Mall gelato. You know what I mean? And so I look at him and I'm like, Dad, I'm gonna go, man. I know where the house is. Like I can walk. And he's like, nah, fuck, stay here. Come on, fuck, stay here with you. You know, and I'm like, no, I think I'm gonna go home. And the lady, the older woman that was dancing with my dad looks over at me, looks me in my eyes and says, oh, who's this? You know, my dad then looks at her and looks at me, and he, with a straight face, he says to her and to me, oh, that's my brother. I'd like to introduce you to my brother Ben. And so I'm his brother now. After I just wanted to, like, just stay home, get right. And you tell this fucking cougar that I'm your brother? I'll never forget that shit. And the way I've dealt with that stress is I'm dealing with it right now. But the way I dealt with it is I started to avoid the things that he did. The drinking, the partying, the everything that comes around with that. The moment you cut that drinking out, all that bad decisions, all that dirty, grimy shit goes away. So once I did that, shit just started to be more clear. Started eating healthy. Started exercising all the time. Started doing this, started doing that. Got my life together. Got my head right. Get everything organized and less frantic and less unknowing. Knowing yourself and knowing your next move and being 4 or 5 moves ahead of that move, that's how you stay straight. That's how you stay right. And have control of that. And show love to your kids. Tell them you love them. You know what I mean? I'm just going to pause this here. I'm glad I shared that story. I really am. I haven't told many people that, and now here I am talking to, my show, my podcast, and putting it out there like that. But I'll tell you something, that felt really good to do that. And I'm really, really glad I put that out there, because if anybody listening right now has ever been in a situation like that and thinks, no, that's so fucked up that my dad or my mom or whoever would say something like that and nobody would ever say, well, you know what? There is probably someone out there who has had some fucked up shit said to them that stuck, and that seed grew into like a piece of poo that somebody walking a dog in Toronto who just got a dog who doesn't realize you got to pick up that poo, because if I end up stepping in that, it's disgusting. Well, I mentioned earlier that, and I've mentioned it before about these headaches and the stress of that. And I went to the doctor, did a whole neurological exam, passed that with wonders. She's got me touching my nose, doing this, doing that. I was dancing in her room. She's like, man, you're good. You know what I mean? But then she's like, but I understand you. And I understand that you want to be 150% sure that everything's good. And that's how you're going to be good. And it's like, Doc, you understand me? Yes, absolutely. So she sent me and referred me to this headache place, this neurological place up here on Danforth. I'm going to go see them tomorrow morning. And they're probably going to send me for an MRI to know that this shit is, to give me that evidence so I can see it, I can hear it. This is literally just, headaches and stress. So I'm really happy about that this is moving, because we all know our healthcare system, you have to really advocate for your own health, and you have to push. I had the same thing when I tore my bicep tendon. I mean, you got to push to get these doctors to send you anywhere. I'll keep you updated on that. So on that note, let's switch worlds. I'm going to take this opportunity here to thank Young Bleed once again for coming on the show. Be the first guest of the show, man. He dropped some gems. And again, this beat that you're listening to right now is produced by Slangston Hughes. SLANGHUGH. Look him up. All right, We're back. We're back. And for those that have watched episode 1, 2, or 3, maybe all of them, maybe one of them, maybe a quarter of one of them, whatever, there is a segment I do at the end of every episode called the Hoopo Verse. Quickly, for those that don't know, you will now know that the Hoopo Verse is simply this. I suggest a documentary, some music, and a challenge. Those 3 things help me deal with stress and anxiety extremely. Music is huge. Music calms me right down. Documentary, I can just numb myself and learn something and enjoy a good piece of theater. And a challenge, I'm always up for a challenge. I love challenges. I love thinking that, having a little bit of doubt, but just end up destroying it and winning. And I just love that. So I thought I'd share that with you. And every week I share one of each to maybe you can take home and help yourself out. So this week I watched this documentary, man. It's on Netflix. Everyone can watch it. And usually I'm not one to promote films or anything that's trending, anything like that. This was number 1, I think, there for a moment. This shit here is called Twister. Caught in the Storm, man. This right here, anybody, it was funny because as I was watching, I'm like, it reminded me one of the first DVDs when DVDs came out I ever owned was Twister, the movie Twister. Twister and Hoop Dreams, man. Anyways, this documentary it was in Joplin, Missouri, and it's about this huge storm that came and hit this town. And this is how'd the guy describe it? Joplin, Missouri isn't the Bible Belt, it's the buckle on the belt. So real religious town. And it was very cool. That part of it was what made it super cool to watch, because this town was so religious. They thought it was the coming, this is people gonna get took away. I forget, the rapture, I think that's what it's called. Sorry, my non-religious bones. But they thought this was the storm. This was God coming to take away people, and this was it, right? So the whole undertones of that, and just the footage, and I believe they used AI really well in this, and just the interviews and the stories and how people are getting pulled from cars, and people, the way they were holding on to their loved ones, and then the footage, all of it. I really suggest this documentary for you to watch. Sit down and take this one in, just to even numb out, man. It was a lot of fun to watch. So big shout out to the Twister, Caught in the Storm, man, on Netflix now. And second, I'm gonna suggest some music here. I've suggested it before. I did it on my stories on IG, on my stories, like my Oma used to call her Young and Restless and Guiding Light. It is my stories. She'd give me a little thing. I used to go to her house, my Oma. God bless my Oma, rest in peace. I want to give a shout out actually to Dave Chapman's mom, Peggy Chapman, True Islanders right here. Dave Chapman was a friend I grew up with, and I want to give him a big shout out. He's reached out about this show, and I'm just so happy that was the thing about this show. It's connecting, and I love that, and it makes me remember things too. Like his mom used to take care of my Oma, my Dutch grandmother, when she was really sick and at home, and she used to come and feed her and keep the house clean and take care of her. And I remember my Oma just glowing at the idea of a conversation about Peggy. Just loved what she did for her. And thank you, David, to your mom for taking care of my Oma like that, because when she was there, she was very happy and well took care of. So thank you. Love you guys for that. Karen y los Remedios. This tune right here, when you know a hit tune, when it just hits you? This is one of those tunes. Ay, 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 ay. I don't even know what you're saying. This is a tune, man. Listen to that. It hits harder than bricks. Karen y los Remedios. Look them up. YouTube, IG, everywhere, man. This is a tune. When it hits tune, like I said, it just hits you right in your bones. Look at I was going through her songs last night, and my lady goes, I was playing this song, and my lady looks over at me while I was playing this. She goes, that sounds like crazy orgy music. And I was like, you're kind of right. Seriously, that's sweaty orgy music, man. Dark orgy music. Well, nevertheless, big tunes. Karen y Los Remedios. I apologize for my my pronunciation, but there is no language to good music, so take it in. Big tunes. And we're going to finish this off with the challenge, man. We're going to finish this off with the challenge for the week. So just like every other week, every episode comes out on a Friday. So you're listening to this. It'd be great. It'd be awesome if you were listening to this on a Friday and you can take this challenge into the weekend. And my challenge to you this weekend, last week, was to laugh. Put yourself in a situation to laugh. So whether that's call that funny friend or watch that funny movie or do whatever, but instead of checking your timeline, check your timeline of laughs for the weekend, because laughing is an amazing healer and we all need to do more of it. That was last week. This week, my challenge to you is to do the Wim Hof breathing exercise tonight, tomorrow night, and Sunday night. Do it 3 days in a row. And I guarantee you'll be hooked like dope. You'll be hooked like dope. Just one hit of that breathing exercise, man, I'm telling you right now, it's going to open up some shit in you. I promise you that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the link to the link that I use, the Wim Hof exercise that I do every single night. I've done it every single night for the last 5 years. I've only missed one day, and that was in the hospital when Stella was born. It didn't work out. So I'm going to put the link in the bio or in the description of this show, and you can go click on that and do it once. It's literally 11 minutes. Man, just do it. I challenge you to do it and see what happens, okay? Come back and tell me you don't want some more of this shit, okay? So the challenge, breathing exercise for the weekend, the music, Karen y Los Remedios, and the documentary Twister on Netflix. Take them all in and enjoy. I want to end this. I don't want to end this in a somber way, but I was going for my run the other day, and let me bring this up here. There's some real shit right here in the neighborhood. So as I was running, it just came to me, man. I was running in, where was I? Girard and Greenwood, and I see this. And for those just listening, I'm putting a picture of a missing person's picture on a telephone pole that's at that corner at Greenwood and Girard. And the name is Camila Benjamin. She's only 16 years old, I believe, and she's a missing girl. She just went missing. And I saw this, and I actually stopped my run. I looked at it. I said, that shit is so sad. Like, I can't even imagine what it's like for those parents to have their daughter missing, and they have to go put pictures up on the block. It hit me so hard to see this. If you're listening or you're watching and you've seen this girl, Camila Benjamin, call 911, whatever, and get that information out there, because for all of us that either have kids or have a heart, man, you don't want to see this happening to anybody. So hopefully this girl can get found. And then I turn around, I finish my run, and I come back, and the pole on my way back, there's another missing woman in the neighborhood that's on another pole. And this girl's name here is Ashley Ayette. So Ashley, last name Ayotte, Ashley Ayette. I apologize, I'm not saying it right, but it's another missing girl, man. So if anyone has seen Camila Benjamin, last seen at the Eaton Center, I believe, or Ashley Ayette, please call your local police and let's get these girls home, man, because that shit just saddened the fuck out of me, because you don't want to see this, man. I got a daughter, man. I got to sign up. I can't even imagine what that would do to you. I just thought I'd put that out there, that, call your police if you see any one of those girls, man. And I want to give a shout out to once in a while to local businesses in the neighborhood. And this week I want to give a shout out to Coffee and Clothing. They are my daughter's actually played. Speaking of my daughters, my daughter has played with the owner's daughter. They used to be at the same summer camp back in the day. These two have the most incredible little shop. It's by Girard Square, just a little bit east by the Real Jerk on Girard, and I don't know the exact address right now, but it's called Coffee and Clothing. It's all vintage, the best vintage clothing spot in the entire city. easily. Back in the day, I used to go to this one called Public Butter, which was in Parkdale. This was way back in the day by Cadillac Lounge. This place is like that on steroids. And it's got a barbershop in the basement. It's got a couple of floors. It's got everything. You want to come out of there looking like anything you want, man. You come out of there looking like the Unabomber, a hip Unabomber, man. You know what I mean? You can do that. But no joke, this is the best vintage shop in the city. Go check them out. Let's support local businesses, especially with what's going on right now with all this trade war, tariffs, blah, blah, blah. Support your local businesses. But yeah, on that note, I want to thank everybody who's been listening, who's took a chance and took a listen or took a watch. Thank you. Let's get out of here. Thank you for listening or watching this episode. It means a lot, genuinely. And remember, new episodes come out every single Friday. So please hit subscribe wherever you're catching this podcast, whether it's Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. And please hit that 5-star review, as that nudges that silly little algorithm to reach more eyes and ears. So please, have a great weekend. And please don't forget, I love you.